So first of all, we're going to focus on speaking and writing errors. Those are commonly made. Like if you are thinking of taking the IELTS examinations, probably once you get into the speaking exam room, the examiner would ask you to introduce yourself or say something about you. That is the first 2 minutes, right? You'll be asked to speak about yourself. And we see like sometimes candidates coming in and saying, myself, I am, or that is an incorrect way of introducing yourself. You can say probably I am. If I'm introducing, I would say I am Jins Thomas. So I might say uh, my name is Jins Thomas. So it's not really a good way to start with myself. uh, Native speakers never do that. So when you're going for a first language English speaking examinations, right, like IELTS, it's best to avoid that. Okay, that is first point for the day. The next one, the next incorrect use. So if you got a doubt anytime, stop me there and then please do ask. We see sometimes students using language like this. I'm having two brothers and two sisters. In fact, this word having can be used in the sense eating, like I'm having something. Yeah. So you um, okay. Shreyans, you came a little late. Okay. Right. Shreyans, can you hear me? Right. Let's continue. So we sometimes hear candidates saying things like, "I'm having two brothers and two sisters. I'm having. I'm having to mean that they possess something, which is incorrect. So the right sense is to say, I have two brothers and two sisters. So we don't say I am having to mean possession. Right. Again, we sometimes hear people saying, uh, she do not have something, or he do not have something, which is also not correct way of speaking. We would rather say she does not have or he does not have. That is number, an issue with the usage of number, gender, etc. We must have learned it in smaller classes, right? Then sometimes we hear candidates saying, does she has something, which again is wrong. The correct way of saying is, does she or does he have something. With he, you normally say he has a pen, she has a pen, etc. Right? But you're using the auxiliary, the modal auxiliary there, does. So we use does she has a pen, or does she does she have a pen, or does she have something, right? Look at the next one. um, this is slightly a colloquial way of saying, I'm not saying it's incorrect, but this is very peculiar to the Indian culture. People saying, today boss is there. And then it's like we end with a question tone. Today boss is there. We don't say that as well. Probably you can put the is before boss. Is the boss there today? Is boss there today? That's slightly more a better way of saying the same thing. Look at the next one. He's in office. I mean, um, that means he holds a position. He's in office. Like our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, is in office. Suppose you say Narendra Modi is in office. What you mean to say is he is the Prime Minister of this country. If you want to mean somebody is in their office, then you may have to say, yeah, he is in the office or he is in his office. It makes sense. But if you simply say um, she is in office, which means she is holding a position. Does that make sense to you? I hope it makes sense. You can chat.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can chat or unmute yourself and then speak. These are very commonly made mistakes, errors. The Next one. He did not wrote the test last week. The problem with that sentence is the use of double past tense. Did is past tense, wrote is past tense. Past participle of the word write is wrote, right? Write, wrote, written. When you're saying he did not wrote, you're using double past, which is wrong. He did not write the test last week. Yeah, that is correct. Now, sometimes I have sometimes we hear people saying I have written the test last week. This is also wrong. Any guess why that is wrong? I have written the test last week. Why do you think that is wrong? Suppose somebody says I have written the test last week. Why do you think that is wrong? Any guess? No guess? Okay, fine. I have written the test last week. That is wrong because you're using last week at the end of that sentence. See, present perfect tense, if you're using, you don't refer to a time in the past. You say, I have written the test. Okay, no problem. But when you say, I have written the test last week, it is a problem. We don't say that. Like, I have seen the Taj. I have seen the Taj Mahal, right? The Taj. I have seen the Taj. But you don't say I have seen the Taj yesterday or I have seen the Taj last week. Yeah, you with the present perfect tense, you don't refer to the time in the past. That is big. Like if you Google a little bit about the uses of these tenses, it becomes very clear to you. Yeah? Or let's see how I can help in future, right? Okay, then look at the third last one day. I came by walk. What's wrong with that? No, sometimes we, like you walk into some. Come on, try, Anisha, try. Shreyans, you want to try that?
I came walking to the place.
No. Try again. That's not really. Okay, what's wrong with this sentence?
I walked to the place. I walked to the place.
No.
So walk is it's wrong. The foot can be used.
That is correct, Shreyan. So yes. You can say I came on foot. You went by car is correct. You went by train is correct. You went by any vehicle is okay. But you walk on foot. You don't walk. You don't say I came by walk. You came on foot. If you came by walking, actually, if you came by in inverted comma by walking, you say.
So walking. Walking is a type of running ना तो slow running walking करते ना इधर daily.
Shreyans, that is not the reason. That is not the reason. If you go somewhere on foot, which means walking, you go somewhere walking, and then you want to tell somebody that you walked that distance. You tell the person, I came on foot. You don't say I came by walk. It's a yeah. If you tell me what is wrong if I say I came by walk, don't people understand? People do understand. Sure, people do understand. But the thing is, it's a language, and you're taking a language examination, so you cannot use. You go to avoid such uses. Okay, fine. And then second last one. I prefer coffee than tea. What's wrong with that? Want to give it a try?
I prefer coffee instead of tea.
No, not really. You want to try, Anisha?
In comparison to tea?
No, it's a very simple thing. Don't make it complicated. It's very simple. It's just this. You can say, I prefer coffee to tea. Use the preposition to instead of than there. Use the preposition to. I prefer coffee to tea. And you are correct. Yeah? Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Great. The last one, I see like a lot of people using language in that way. They say, I can able to do this. I mean, none of these errors here that you see on the screen, none of them, I would say, uh, hurdle understanding of the listener if the listener is an Indian. But when you're preparing for a language examination, none of them will work. Practically, if you're speaking to someone, probably this is fine, perfect, any of them. But we are thinking of a language examination, so none of them will work. You use them, your band will go down. Yeah. So people saying I can able to see, what is the meaning of the term can? What's the meaning of the term can? Means it shows a ability, right?
Unable to.
Able to, exactly, that's the same thing. So you say I can do something. Yeah, I can climb a tree. Whatever. Yeah, I can climb a tree like a monkey. But you don't say I can able to climb a tree. People do use, but when like, don't use such terms in your language speaking examinations.